CNC machining remains one of the most cost-effective methods for prototyping and custom manufacturing to date. Understanding factors affecting CNC machining costs will help in reducing costs and minimizing risks for your project. Hi, I'm Sam from RapidDirect, and welcome back to our channel. In this video, we will be offering proven tips to reduce your CNC machining costs. Before we get started, let's take a quick look at a few factors that contribute to the cost of CNC machined parts. First, machining time. The design's complexity would increase the machining time and therefore the overall cost. Second, setup cost per unit. The cost of setup depends on the quantity of the parts to be produced. For bulk parts production, the cost per part is lower as it's split by the larger quantity of parts. Third, the cost of bulk materials and materials machinability. Picking affordable materials with good machinability like aluminum is a great choice. So far, you know design's complexity, setup costs, and materials will affect the CNC machining costs. To keep the CNC machining cost to minimum, let's check some design tips to see how they help in saving costs in CNC machining. The first design tip is to avoid excessive thin walls. CNC machining is capable of producing parts with extremely tight tolerance and thin walls, which is about 1 mm. But if you have a limited budget for your CNC project, or your design doesn't necessarily require very thin walls, just avoid them. The reason is that machining thin walls requires the repetition of low cutting depth, which significantly add time to the machining process. Therefore, avoiding excessive thin walls can help to speed up the machining time and lower costs. The second tip is to add radii to internal corners. If you are an experienced engineer, you should know that machining sharp corners is impossible. CNC milling tools are cylindrical, so when creating corners inside the part, it naturally have a curve or radius. Remember, designing a part with internal radii instead of sharp corners can streamline the production process. Additionally, the larger the internal radius, the more milling tools can be used and the faster the machining time. Following the previous tip, it is also advisable to keep thread tips as low as possible. Deeper threads, like deeper cavities, require more non-standard tools which would drive up machining time and costs. Also, you should avoid small features with a high aspect ratio. Bear in mind that any parts that have extreme width to height ratios are prone to vibrations and are thus difficult to machine accurately, which also makes the price go up. To avoid that, it is suggested to design all features with a width to height aspect ratio of less than 4. Besides, remember to add bracing support around small features or connect them to a wall to improve their stiffness. Design tip number 5. Ensure the part dimensions correspond to standard CNC tools. For example, the hole, thread, and cavity diameters in your design should correspond to common CNC tool diameters. Besides, try to maintain the same hole and cavity dimensions across your design so that there can be fewer tool changes, which results in a faster CNC machining process. The sixth tip is to avoid excessive use of high tolerance. Despite that CNC machining is capable of achieving the highest tolerances among other processes, it doesn't mean that every part requires the highest tolerance. Only use high tolerance when necessary can greatly reduce costs because achieving high tolerance increases machining time as well as inspection time. If a part is submitted without specified tolerance, CNC machining service providers such as RapidDirect will implement their standard tolerance. Here at RapidDirect, the standard tolerance is plus minus 0.125 mm. The last design tip: avoid using CNC machining for text and lettering. On the one hand, letters have sharp corners that can't be achieved by CNC machining. On the other hand, engraving or embossing letters require precision, which will substantially increase the time and cost of machining. So, if your product requires lettering, consider using a finishing process such as silk printing or laser marking. Okay, after all these design tips I just introduced, you should recognize the importance of design for manufacturability in product design. Good news for you! Our online platform recently updated the DFM feature. By simply uploading your design files, we can automatically detect the potential issues and provide an in-depth DFM report. Don't hesitate, have a try. Now that we've finished the design tips, let's continue discussing some other factors. First, the machinability of the material. As you know, there are so many materials that can be used in CNC machining. But when choosing a suitable material, you shouldn't just focus on the material's price and ignore its machinability. For example, aluminum is way cheaper than steel, but when it comes to machinability, aluminum is way better. In machining the same workpiece, the process time you spend on aluminum is much less than on steel. The second tip is to avoid unreasonable surface finishes. The finish of your CNC machine part helps protect it against harsh environments and improves the aesthetics. However, the cost increases as the surface finish improves. By the way, the surface finishes also affects the part's dimensions, even though the changing thickness is measured by microns. You need to pay attention on your part's surface finish if there will be assembly requirements for your parts. Next, split up complex parts. Suppose you have a complex part with intricate geometries. In that case, the machining process would usually involve custom fixtures, manual rotations, repositioning, and multi-axis CNC machine. None of this come at a low price. If you want to create a complex part, it is suggested that you split the part into 2 or more separately machined parts and assemble them later. But of course, it is always the best if you can just reduce the complexity of your design. Finally, it's an important tip to increase your order quantity. The number of parts you order significantly impacts the unit price. Generally, increasing the quantity from 1 to 50 could decrease the unit price by more than 50%. Therefore, always try to order more parts in a time to reduce the unit cost. Okay, that's all the tips on how to reduce CNC machining cost. If you want to learn more about CNC machining cost reduction, find the link in the description below. You can also navigate to our online platform and get instant quotation and DFM analysis by upload your design files. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video. Bye bye.